One, I don't know if he is familiar with a menstruating person's body. In fact, I do know that he's not familiar with a woman, with a female or menstruating person's body. And I'm sorry we have to break it down on, break down Biology 101 on national television. And 2 weeks late on your period for any person with a menstrual cycle can happen if you're stressed, if your diet changes, or for really no reason at all.
For a person with a menstrual cycle, also known as a woman, I think, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went after Texas Governor Greg Abbott there over his state's new 6-week abortion ban based on being able to detect a heartbeat in a fetus, a preborn baby. She repeatedly referred to women, as you saw there, as menstruating people. The progressive New York Democrat spoke out criticizing Abbott of ignorant of reproductive science, but appeared to trip over her own phrasing, and it was pretty remarkable. Tiana Lowe is a commentator for the DC Examiner, contributor here at the First TV. She joins me now to dive into this. So we have words in the English language that one can string together and come up with a way to describe a person as having a menstrual cycle or a person who is capable of giving birth to another human being. I was under the impression that woman or women would be the preferred word for this, but the left rejects this, Tiana. Why?
Buck, it's not just the left. It's now officially the CDC guidance in the middle of this pandemic that they swear is serious enough that they need to shut down the economy again. The CDC put out guidance that said you are not supposed to just use he or she, and you're not supposed to use man or woman. You're supposed to be using a person who can give birth. And then we've also just seen basic, non-biologically bifurcated terms like breast. There is in medical parlance, men have a breastbone, women have a breastbone. And still, the progressive left wants us to now use chest feeders. It is, and it's funny because—
Wait, I'm sorry. That's the chest feeders is now a thing?
Chest feeders is now a thing. Everything that we could expect in terms of trans insanity just hops across the pond, right? Think about how radical this debate has gone. 5 years ago, it was, are you fine calling Caitlyn Jenner she and fine with a trans woman using an adult woman's restroom? Now it's, can we use puberty blockers on 8-year-olds, and can we erase women from biological science? It's like we don't exist, and it only ever does go one way, which is funny that the feminists don't really care about that.
How is it possible to be a champion for what had previously been called women's rights, let's say? And the left would obviously suggest AOC, and others would believe that abortion is the preeminent women's right, at least in this country under the regime of Roe v. Wade. That's what they've been saying. But how could you champion women's rights if you won't even use the term women? That seems to be a challenge for people who live in a reality-based universe.
Well, I think the modern Democratic Party, or at least its loudest mouthpieces, have made clear that they don't really care about the whole women thing. The women in Afghanistan who are going to be raped and sold into sexual slavery by the Taliban, they don't really matter. But if you're a woman in Texas, fully capable of getting contraception or Plan B through your doctor, fully capable of planning and empowering yourself before conception, you're oppressed now. Feminism, on the one hand, you have to be a girl boss in the C-suite in the boardroom, but also you are oppressed, fragile little snowflake who needs protection by daddy government because they don't trust that you can use a pill properly. It's a completely backward, broken mentality of, are women strong and smart and capable of making decisions proactively for themselves? Or are they fragile little victims who depend on the nanny state to tell them what to do?